Carus is a public liability expert, and he is with us today to discuss this rather complex topic. So Henry, thanks for being here.
My pleasure, Cindy.
Henry, explain why you are known as a public liability expert.
That's a good comment there. Cindy, look, it's probably because of background and experience more than anything else. My background has been working with public liability laws on both sides of the equation for most of my career. I've defended insurance companies both in the United States and in Australia, across Australia in fact, dealing with matters involving public liability. And now my firm acts for those who are injured, seeking compensation, public liability on a regular basis. The experience across both jurisdictions, United States and here, the breadth of activities that I've done have probably given me a wealth of information which is rather unique for a practitioner.
Excellent. And what exactly is public liability law?
Public liability law covers accidents that happen in a public space. They can be as simple, let's say, as having a slip and fall in a supermarket or an accident in someone's home. Those are the most common kind of accidents you see. They can also be more complex. They can be dealing with accidents that happen at various business venues. For instance, it could be a restaurant, it could be an adventure park, it could be a horse riding facility, and each of them creates their own scenario what that particular business was supposed to provide as a reasonable service and whether they did so. And then it intertwines into other areas of the law involving, for instance, accidents in a workplace where the accident could be happening at a construction site. And in those circumstances, you're looking at who are the responsibility of the various parties for that accident, being either the builder, the subcontractor, or multiple subcontractors for the task. So public liability has a wide range of different areas that it can actually be applied, and each one creates its own world of obligations and or responsibilities.
Okay, and if I have an accident in a public space, what do I need to do?
Well, my favorite thing to clients is I tell them is don't really worry too much about moving from where your accident is right away. A lot of clients feel that they should be getting up. They feel a bit embarrassed about falling down. They feel a bit concerned about they've just had this slip and fall or something else occur to them. And I actually tell them to actually sit still and look around and make sure they can identify what has caused them to have this accident, what's caused them to fall or trip or something else. After they do so, then my next favorite request for them, if they have a chance, is to take a photograph of what they see, what actually is there that has caused their accident. And that photograph these days can be easily taken off a mobile phone because most people carry one. And in doing so, they have contemporaneous evidence of exactly what occurred at that moment. My next suggestion to them is please look around and see if anyone there has witnessed your accident. There are lots of people who are quite willing to help you at the time of your accident. They'll step forward, they'll give you assistance, and if you ask for their name or their contact details, they'll give them to you. And then they can be later on so helpful in confirming your version of how the accident occurred. If you're in a commercial setting, my favorite thing to tell clients is to please report the accident right away, because there is a great sense of skepticism and or, let's say, cynicism if you don't report the accident and later on you come back and say you've suffered an accident at that premises but you never reported it. Without reporting it, the premises sometimes think, is this a put on? Is this real? Did they really have an accident in our place, or are they just lodging their claim here because it's an easy one? And if you report your accident right then and there, they have a chance to feel comfortable about the claim from then onwards. And so I suggest report the accident. My next suggestion is actually not so helpful to the business, and that is I tell them not to sign anything. Lots of businesses love to write an incident report, like to write something right up and give it to the person and say, could you please sign it? And I tell them, don't sign. The reason is that document most of the time has been created by that business for their purposes, their interest. And the wording of it and what it says may not be so accurate. And they shouldn't sign something without first consulting a lawyer. And that's my last point. My favorite suggestion to someone injured right away is please consult a personal injury lawyer right away so that you know exactly what your entitlements are from the beginning. Because a lot of insurance companies now even businesses directly, if they feel they're at fault, are going to try to contact a person and try to settle up that client as quickly as they can for a minimal amount of money, and so that person will never get a chance to understand what their true entitlements to compensation are. So I tell clients, before you do anything else, hire a personal injury lawyer.
Now, Henry, can that injured person get support right away?
Unfortunately, not. Personal injury law has no fault type of benefits, has no immediate access to support. There is now a national program where there is going to be rolling out some insurance for people, but that's not yet reflected in Victoria. So at the moment, there is no automatic guarantee for support. They don't have any income support, they don't have any medical support. It's a massive challenge to a person. And unless they have a personal injury lawyer explaining to them that those benefits, those compensational aspects will eventually be achieved, they probably are very concerned.
And how long will it take to get support?
Probably until the end of the proceedings. At no time, even when they're fully responsible, do insurance companies want to give you part payment of the compensation. So in the end, you're looking at getting all of the benefits when you settle your matter. You're looking for those things that you've already incurred or lost, and those things that you're going to incur and or lose into the future, both medical expenses and income. So all of that gets wrapped up into one compensation picture. Speed in getting there is really helpful. More importantly, though, developing the claim to make sure it is inclusive of all your compensation is the most important.
So in the end, you think it is worthwhile to pursue a public liability claim?
It's dramatically worthwhile. I, on a regular basis, provide clients with over hundreds of thousands of dollars dealing with accidents in a public space. It dramatically changes their life. It gives them compensation for the pain and suffering or the change in their life, but also gives them a tremendous amount of support that lets them take control of their medical future because they can pay for their medical care themselves, and also gives them income support into the future if that's what they deserve, so they're not under pressure financially, them or their families.
Very good. Well, Henry, you gave us a lot of great information today, and we thank you for being with us.
My pleasure, Cindy. Be well.
Until next time, this is Cindy Speaker for Victoria Law TV.